Hi, namaste. It's Jackie, and we're going to do a little bit of yoga together. So please take a moment to get yourself situated. If you have a yoga mat, you can put that out on the floor. If you don't have a yoga mat, you just need enough space where you can have some room to stretch out your arms, and when you lie down on the floor, enough room to stretch your arms up all the way over your head. So take a moment, get yourself settled, and I suggest that you close the door of the room that you're in, that you turn off your devices, and just give yourself a little bit of time to care for, to nurture your body. And we're going to begin today with some standing movements. So as you get yourself settled, you can begin to join me in this little swinging movement. So I'm going to step my feet out about shoulder width apart, and I'm going to start to let my arms gently swing. So I'm wrapping the hands around my back and letting the hands tap the lower ribs in the back where the kidney area is. I'm moving my neck. You can turn your head and try to look at the floor behind you. That'll help get a little movement in your neck. I'm lifting the back heel up off of the floor, so I'm moving my feet a little bit and also getting a little movement in the lumbar area. I'm just kind of gently waking up the spine. And then we're going to add another tap. So the hand in the front, you can kind of make a little cup with your hand and tap right under your collarbone. This is for your lungs. So we're going to tap the lung in the front and the kidney in the back. And we'll just do this a few times, just kind of waking things up. It's a really nice movement. These little twisting movements are particularly nice to do in the morning. Get things in your digestive system moving, but really nice any time of the day. So if you tend to sit a lot, if you're in the car a long time, is a nice movement to do to kind of get your blood flowing and your spine moving a little bit. Let's do just a couple more. And then come to the center and give everything a little jiggle. Just shake off the day from whatever you've done. So you might shake your hands, you might even pick up your feet. Give your legs a little jiggle, and you can just kind of wiggle everything so things shake it out. And then come to standing in the mountain pose in Tadasana so that your joints are lined up. Your hips are over your knees and your knees are over your heels. And then bring your hands to your hips and think about your strong legs, everything from where your hands are touching down, grounding down into the earth. So this is mountain pose. This is the base of our mountain, nice and strong. You might even firm up your quadriceps here. And then from where your hands are up, try to lift up. So you feel the spine lengthen, you feel your chest lift, you might feel your shoulders draw back, even the back of your head draw back a little bit. And then you can bring your hands down and just try to maintain that nice long spine. And then let your hands come over the center of your chest. Still standing nice and tall, we're going to start to cultivate some awareness of our breathing. So breathing in through the nose, let your hands float out to the sides. Big breath in. You feel the chest expanding and lifting. And on your exhale, as you draw your hands back to your chest, just stack up your hands, hug your belly in a little bit, like you're zipping up the zipper on something a little snug. And do that again. Inhale, feel the breath in your chest, breathe through your nose. Exhale, just keep alternating the way you're stacking up your hands here, hug your belly, and you might even lower your eyes. Inhale, hands float out. Exhale, belly in. So get this idea of coordinating your movement with your breath. So inhale, hands float out. As you begin the exhale, breathing through the nose, hug your belly in. Now this time, do the same, but as you inhale your hands out, let your heels start to float up off of the floor. We call this moving mountain. So we're going to let the heels lift. And on the exhale, bring everything back in. So let your hands touch your heart as your heels touch the floor. So do that again. Inhale. Feel the chest expand. And exhale. So you may feel your legs quivering a little bit. They should probably be shaking. Now this time we're going to lift the arms up a little higher. So more like a kind of a big Y shape. And then heels down, hands back to the chest. And keep alternating the way you're touching your hands, if you can remember. Inhale. Exhale. So the next one, we're going to stay up on our toes for a few breaths. So please inhale up onto your toes and lift your hands kind of high. And on your exhale, soften your elbows down to shoulder height and lower your heels about halfway down as you hug the belly in. And on your inhale, float back up. You might even lift your eyes, which can challenge the balance a little bit. Exhale, heels down a little, soften your elbows, draw your elbows back. Feel your shoulder blades hugging onto your back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften the heels, lower your elbows, belly in. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. And this exhale, you can come all the way down. And take a moment. You might give your hands and your feet a little shake. And then I'd like you to just stand in your mountain pose. Again, feeling your strong legs and your nice long spine. You might even soften or close your eyes and just get a sense of how your body feels after doing those little movements. So just aware of the sensations and also aware of how you feel. So one of the aspects of that mountain pose is that there's a little bit of a back bend here. So we're going to do a little forward bend to stretch out our back. So start by taking your feet about shoulder width apart. We're still going to have the toes facing forward here. Bring your hands to the sides. Take an inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees a good bit and let your upper body bow halfway down. And then push through your feet. Lift your chest back up. Nice long spine. And we're going to do that 2 more, and depending on how that felt for your back, you can go down a little deeper this time. So exhale, bend your knees. You can let your head bow down a little deeper. Push through your feet. Inhale back up with a nice long spine. So don't round up. Come up with a nice long spine. One more time. Exhale, take a bow. Push through your feet. Inhale back up. Good. And then kind of jiggle things out. All right, next movement, we're going to keep the feet pretty wide here, somewhat wider than your shoulders. And on the inhale, lift both arms out to the side and up. We're going to do a little side bend here. So on the exhale, let your left hand come down to your side and lean over with your right arm. Stay here on your inhale, and as you lengthen that right arm more, lift your right heel up off of the floor. Then on your exhale, just put your heel back down. Pull your belly in. Now this time, do the same. Lift your heel, reach, maybe look up at the ceiling. Now keep that length and exhale your heel down. Turn your head, look down at the floor. See how that feels for your neck. Do that again. Reach, inhale, look up. Heel down, look down. One more. Reach, inhale. Big breath. Heel down, exhale, look down. And on your inhale, come back up to the center. Lower that arm down on your exhale. Move things around a little bit. See what you notice about the two sides. So quite different sensations on the two sides of the body. Now you can decide how wide whether your feet were comfortable in that width. You can go a little wider if you want just a little deeper stretch. So inhale your arms all the way up over your head. We're going to the other side now. So exhale, right arm down. Left arm is going to lean over your head. Stay here on the inhale, reach and lift your left heel off the floor. Big exhale, slowly lower your heel down. See what you feel over here. If this hurts your back, lean over less. Inhale, reach, maybe look up. And this time as you exhale your heel down, turn your gaze down at the floor. Turn your head. Inhale, reach, look up. Exhale, lower your heel, look down. One more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Lift that heel, exhale, heel down, look down. And your inhale, come all the way up. Exhale that arm down slowly and notice what you feel. Nice to stretch the sides like that. So with the feet are maybe a little bit wider than what we did when we did our forward fold the last time. So we're going to do the forward fold again. You can see how it feels for your back. So exhale halfway down. Just bend your knees like a squat. Now inhale, lift your chest to come up. So nice long spine. And we'll go down 2 more times. And again, you can bow deeper if you like. Exhale. Let your head hang if you like. And on the inhale this time, slide your hands to your hips first. And then you lift your chest, come up with a nice long spine. So that can sometimes help with that long spine coming up. So exhale down. Let your head hang if you like. Keep the bend in your knees. Slide your hands up, push through your heels, and rise all the way up to standing. And for a moment, just step your feet back in And you can shake your feet. It may feel nice to swing your legs like you're kicking a soccer ball. You're welcome to hold on to something so you can get that movement in your hips. You can do both legs. Maybe you like balancing too. All right, see how you feel. So come back to your mountain pose and take, again, a moment to notice. So we call these are just pauses. They're very helpful. It's good to pause even in your daily routine, especially if you start to feel a little bit anxious, worried, concerned, or you're about to say something that you think maybe you shouldn't say. These pauses can really help us to check in. All right, please open your eyes. We're going to do a movement where we're going to step the feet even a bit wider apart. We're going to do a forward fold, and we're going to put one hand on the floor. And depending on how that works for you, you may find it helpful to use a little support. So I have a yoga block here, and I'm going to put it right down in the middle of my mat, right in front of my chest. I'm going to step my feet out comfortably wide, so maybe one leg's distance apart, with the feet still facing forward. And then bend your knees and lean forward and just hold on to your legs and kind of pedal out your hips and see what you feel in your knees. And then for the movement, we're going to place the left hand right down on that block. So it's about right under the center of your chest. And then take your other hand to your low back and kind of wiggle your hips a little bit and try to find the place where your hips are level. So there is a tendency for that left hip to kind of pop up. Right hip, excuse me. So keep your lower hand firm on the floor or the block, and take your right hand out to the side, palm facing down, shoulder height. And we're going to inhale and let that arm roll open, but do the movement by turning your rib cage, turning your chest. Don't lift your hip if you can help it. And then exhale halfway down with your arm and let your eyes go all the way down to the mat. So inhale, open. Try not to let your hips tilt. Exhale halfway down, belly in, lower your eyes. Both legs firm. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. So be nice to your shoulder. Go where you can. The next time we're going to hold. And we're going to do an odd movement with that shoulder. So inhale, open. Hold on the exhale. And as you inhale, see if you can sweep your arm forward toward your ear. And exhale your arm back up. Pull your belly in. Try that again. Don't hurt your shoulder. Inhale. You could bend the elbow here. That could be interesting. Exhale. One more inhale. Arm towards your head. And then roll your chest down. Lower that arm down. Bend both knees a bit and walk your hands up to your knees, both hands, and come up to standing. Okay, pause for a moment. Let's step the feet all the way back in. Give things a jiggle and a shake. So we're going to swing a little bit before we do all that to the other side. So already that was a pretty big twist. And you can notice how it feels to tap your back with your hands. How does your low back feel? So, if your shoulder is compromised and it doesn't go way up, just lift less. Make sure your shoulder's cared for. Now come to your mountain pose and pause for a moment and see what you're aware of after we did that sequence on one side. You might even close your eyes. It's also interesting to just notice how it feels to be still. Some people are impatient or like, why are we doing this? So just notice whatever you're feeling. Okay, open your eyes. We'll do the sequence on the other side. So again, we're going to step the feet pretty wide. You can decide how wide, and feet forward. This time we're going to put the right hand down on the floor of the block, so bend your knees and go down. So if the floor is far away, you can raise your support up so it's a little bit higher. So that hand's right under about the center of your chest, and we're going to take the left arm out to this. Oh, take your left hand to your low back first, and kind of woggle your hips, find that place. Sometimes we talk about resting a cup of tea on the sacrum here, so try not to spill your tea. And then take your left arm out to the side. So turn from your rib cage, turn from your chest, inhale, open. Don't just do it with your arm. Exhale halfway down with your arm, lower your eyes, belly in. And try to keep your hips level as you inhale, open. Exhale halfway down, belly in, eyes down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. And then we're going to stay and do that other weird movement with that shoulder. So inhale, open. Stay on your exhale, and on your inhale, you're going to try to sweep your arm over toward your head, toward the front of your mat. Exhale, back up. So inhale, reach. How does that left side feel? Exhale, back up. One more time. Inhale, reach toward your head. Exhale, back up. Stay at the top on the inhale. And on your exhale, roll your chest down, roll that arm down. Bend your knees, let your hips woggle. Gently walk your hands to your knees and inhale up to standing nice and slow, and then walk your feet together again. Okay, just move that block out of the way and we'll swing a little bit again. So how did that feel for your left side, left shoulder? All right, so a movement that's nice after the twists is to do a forward fold. So for this part, we're going to come down onto hands and knees. So when you come down to the floor, I'm going to use something to pad my knees. So if that's helpful for you, grab a blanket or a towel or something, place it under your knees. And we're going to come to the tabletop position here so that we're on all fours. So spread your fingers wide, stack your shoulders up over your wrists. Take an inhale, lift your chest here. On the exhale, pull your navel in. Let your back round as you fold back to child's pose. Let your elbows touch. On your inhale, glide back up to tabletop. Let your chest lift. Exhale, navel draws in. The low back starts to round as you fold back. This should feel pretty nice for your back after those twists we just did. Inhale back up. And do that one more time. Exhale back. Stay back in child's pose, and you might rock here. And if you can support your head, so you may be able to lower your head all the way to the floor. You could place your hands here, let your forehead rest on your hands, stack up your fists, or the yoga block is another nice thing to use under the forehead. Rock a little bit. Just let your back have a little rest. And notice how it feels to try to breathe deeply when you're folded up in this position. It takes a little effort. And then please push yourself up to tabletop again, and we're going to do a little downward facing dog pose, again, to help stretch out the back of the body. So spread your fingers, tuck the toes under, and on an exhale, just slowly push up to dog pose. So begin here, nice strong arms, by softening, bending the knees a little bit and pushing down through the hands so the whole back side body gets long. So as you push the hands down, you lift the hips up. And then just explore pedaling out your legs. So one knee can bend, the other leg can extend the heel toward the floor. So you may like this pose and you may want to stay here a little bit longer. If you feel like you're tired and you want to come down, just make your way back down to child's pose and hold your child's pose for a moment. If you're still holding here, we'll try a little way to get a little length. So what I'd like you to try to do on the exhale is soften both knees a little, soften your elbows a little bit, and pull your belly in. And on your inhale, try to lengthen the arms, lengthen the spine, lengthen your legs again. So exhale, soften elbows, soften knees, belly in. And inhale, extend the arms, extend the legs. So you feel how the breath helps you. So exhale, we're contracting the belly a little bit. On the inhale, we're finding a little length. And if you haven't already come down, lower your knees to the floor. And come back to child's pose again. And you may find it nice to move the wrist a little bit after having the weight on your hands like that. Any little rocking here that feels good. And we're going to come over onto our back now, so you maybe can scoot your padding out of the way if you had something under your knees, and come to lie down on your back. And when you get onto your back, take a moment to make sure that you have room behind you to stretch your arms back up over your head. So just take a couple of reaching breaths back there, and you can stretch and wiggle your fingers and stretch. And then you can bring your arms down, and it may feel nice to kind of tuck your shoulder blades under, and then pick your feet up off of the floor and make some movement with your ankles. So we did a bunch of standing things on our toes. Nice to circle the ankles after that. You could even shake your hands and feet. All right, bring your feet carefully down to the floor. And I want you to, we're going to do a movement. So we did that twisting movement. We did some movements to open the upper back. Now we're going to do a little twist for the low back. And we're going to take the arms out to the sides, this T position. So just notice if your hands are a little bit above your shoulders. You want to get them even with or slightly below your shoulders, so you're not getting your shoulder up beside your ears. And palms down, and you can even kind of grip your fingers into the floor. And then pick your feet up off of the floor. So have your knees either touching, or if it's not great for you to have your knees touching, you can have them apart. Another time you could use the block here is to put the block in between your knees. So inhale, lengthen your arms, feel your chest expand. Remember how we were breathing at the beginning? Exhale, hug your belly in, and we're going to let the knees both sway over to one side. Go a little bit. And on your inhale, bring your knees back to the center. They might be touching. Exhale over. So try to keep your knees close to your chest. And inhale, center. And we're going to repeat this a few times. So as you exhale over, if this is feeling comfortable for you, you can go a little further this time. And on your inhale, lift your knees back up. So the slower you go, the more interesting it is, the more work there is in your abdomen. Exhale to the side. Try to hug your knees toward each other as you inhale up. So again, you can have the block between your knees or the feet a little wide if it's not comfortable. If this is really easy, bring your knees all the way over, touch your elbow. And inhale back up to the center. And then slowly over to the other side. Got a wall over here, so a little tight. Inhale, center. And you can do one more to each side. Exhale to the side. Feel that squeezing in your abdomen. Inhale back up. Slowly. Exhale. It's fine if you're staying with the smaller range of movement. Inhale back up. And once you come to the center this time, you can bring your feet to the floor. Rest. Take a moment to notice now, so we can still do these pauses when we're lying on our back. So we're going to come to each side and hold the twist. So we're going to start with the knees going to the right side. So if you have a yoga block, blanket, pillow, whatever you got, put it over by your right hip, and we're going to draw both knees up. And we're going to go over there and let the legs rest on that support, so that when you stretch your left arm out, the opposite arm, it's comfortable, your shoulder's pretty much on the floor. You can take some deep breaths. Drawing the knees, again, closer to your chest, safer for your hips, safer for your low back, especially if you have issues in your hips. This is a pretty safe twist for most bodies, so nice one to do in bed as well. So take a few breaths here. You can decide how close you want to have your knees to the floor. Think about your left side. So exhale into your left chest. Inhale, into the chest, and then exhale, belly in. Nice deep inhale. What do you notice on the left side? Nice deep exhale. Slow breath. Let's take one more round of breath here. So exhale completely. And then when you get to the inhale, come back to the center. And you can lift the top knee first and come onto your back, and then you can lower your feet to the floor for a moment. Even up the two sides, and then put your support, props, whatever you got, over on the left side by your hip. So one thing about the right side is most of us are right side dominant people, and the right side can tend to feel a little tighter. So, see what you feel. You know what you're going to do now. So bring your knees up, and you're welcome to put a little support between your knees if it feels more comfortable. Go on over, find that support for your legs so that when you stretch your right arm out, your shoulder is not hanging out in space. It's on the floor. So you can adjust the height of whatever your support is there and draw your knees up closer to your chest as much as you can. And begin to scan that right side with your attention. So breathe into your chest. Hug the belly in. You can kind of hug your knees toward each other. Again, this is nice to do in bed when you have lots of pillows and things to support your legs. You can also put support under this arm, especially if that right shoulder is compromised, or even bring your arm just lower down by your waist. It's fine. Big breath. Belly in as you exhale. One more. So complete the exhale. Then when you get to the inhale, come back to the center and roll onto your back and put your feet down and just situate your shoulders and your hips so they feel even again. Tuck your shoulder blades under and take a moment to just let your body rest. Just free breath. All right, a nice movement to do after the twisting is this, especially the reclined twist, is this bridge pose where you lift your hips up off of the floor. So you want to have your heels pretty much right in line with your hips and your feet pretty close to your body. Now, if you have some knee issues and you can't bend one knee so much, even up your feet. So make sure your feet are even wherever you have them. And then let's go back to our arms for a moment. So thinking about your breath in your chest, inhale and sweep your arms up over your head to the floor behind you. Feel the chest expand. You can spread your fingers. The backs of the hands touch the floor back there. And on your exhale, lower your arms down, hug your belly in. And again, inhale, arms up. Spread your fingers, reach. Exhale, arms down. So just keep your arms down, and now we're going to try some hip movements. So you can have your hands palms down by your sides, and on the inhale, push into your feet, lift your hips up. And exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So now lift your arms and your hips together. So hips up, arms up. How does that feel? And when you exhale down, see if you can get your hands and your hips to touch the floor at the same time. So your arms have a long way to go and your hips have just a little short distance to travel. So see if you can coordinate all that. So inhale through your nose, lift up. Hug your belly in as you exhale down. Now this time, we're going to do a little variation. So we're going to inhale and lift the hips and only the right arm. So inhale, hips and right arm. And keep your right arm up over your head as you exhale, lower your hips back down. And try to notice that lengthening feeling down your right side. Hug your belly in. Inhale, lift your hips and just lengthen that right arm. So we're going to explore the right side a little bit. So keep the arm up again as you exhale your hips down, belly in. One more time. Inhale, lift. And on this exhale, lower your arm down as the hips come down. See if they can all touch at the same time. And pause for one breath. If you don't feel even, adjust your shoulders, adjust your hips. And then we'll explore that on the left side. So as you're ready, inhale, left arm and hips lift. Now keep your left arm up over your head as you exhale, lower your hips down, hug your belly in. Try to explore the left side. Inhale, push your hips up, lengthen that left arm. You can push the back of your hand into the floor. If your hand is touching, it might not be. Exhale, slowly down with your hips. Keep your arm over your head. And one more time, hips up, inhale. Lower your arm as you lower your hips on the exhale. Take a breath to notice. And then we'll do 2 more with both arms and both hips. I want to follow that with a little symmetry. So inhale, hips up and arms up. Exhale down. So last one, and if you want to hold the pose, you can lift your hips and arms, or you can just lift your hips and hold the pose if you like. Inhale up. Maybe you just stay one breath. You want to have your neck even here, so don't turn your neck while you're lifted. And then when you get to an exhale, just let yourself come down. Once your hips are down on the floor, you can pull your knees into your chest and just do some nice rocking to massage your back. And it may feel nice as you massage your back, so you can sway side to side or circle the knees. It may feel nice to do some nice slow joint rotations with your ankles and your wrists. These are nice soothing movements. And gently shake it all off. Shake your hands, shake your feet, and then lower the feet to the floor and find a position where your legs can rest with your knees bent. So for many people, having the feet apart and the knees touching is quite comfortable, especially for the lumbar area, the low back. You can rest your hands on your belly, or you might like having your hands by your sides, palms up. And either gaze at one spot, soften your eyes, or close your eyes. Let go of the effort to breathe as we begin to shift toward the relaxation part of our practice. Scan your body from your head down to your feet. Notice if there's any place you could soften. So I'll mention some places where we typically hold tension. So that could be your mouth or your jaws, your shoulders or your neck. And then all the way down through your arms, fingers. And then how about your hips or your low back? Is there a little adjustment you can make to get more comfortable there? And then just seeing how you want to support your body for the rest of Shavasana. You may be comfortable stretching your legs out flat, and that's fine if it works for you. For many people, that's not so great, so you may want to keep your knees bent or place a blanket, pillow, block, or something under your knees, or even rest your legs up on a chair or on the sofa. Really helpful for the back to support the legs like that. And then we'll take a couple of sighs to just shift toward this relaxation part. So please inhale and out through the mouth. You might even make the ah sound. So one more time, inhale. And then ah. So give yourself permission to let your body rest here and feel the weight of all the parts of your body and the support of the floor. You don't even have to try to breathe, just rest. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy, and may we all be at ease. May we all live in peace. So I strongly encourage you to continue to let your body rest for the next 5-10 minutes. If you happen to fall asleep, that's totally fine. Just rest. If it feels a little challenging for you to lie still, try staying for 12 breaths. It's a good practice to try to stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.